കാരണം എല്ലാവരായിട്ട് ബന്ധം വേണമോ? കാരണം നമ്മൾക്ക് രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തിൽ കൂടുതൽ രാഷ്ട്രീയം കൊണ്ട് ഉയരാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നവരല്ല, നമ്മൾ കച്ചവടം കൊണ്ട് ഉയരാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കാം. പ്രതിപക്ഷത്തിന് ബഹിഷ്കരിക്കാനും സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം വേണ്ടേ? ഇപ്പൊ ഈ ചോദിച്ച ചോദ്യം ഞങ്ങൾ മറുചോദിക്കട്ടെ? അല്ല, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞതേ ഉള്ളൂ. വേണ്ട, താൻ പറയണ്ട, പറഞ്ഞത് കേട്ടാ മതി. എനിക്കാരും അഭിപ്രായം പറയാനും അവകാശം ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോ എനിക്ക് അവകാശം. അതല്ലേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു. കിട്ടിയ ഇല്ല, ചോദിച്ചു വായിച്ചു. അറിയില്ലേ അവളുടെ സ്വഭാവം? ന്യായമായാലും അന്യായമായാലും അവളുടെ ഭാഗം ചെയ്യും.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, very good evening. So is the slide visible?
Yes.
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you. So few of you haven't muted your audio, please. So I request, no, like whoever has not done that, please mute your audio. So only if you have any questions or concerns, you can know like unmute, and first you please raise your hands if you want something to speak out, and then you can know like ask questions. Okay. Okay, so in our previous session, we were no like discussing about the restructuring process. So how an organization, a corporate would go on with the process. So there is no like various stages in incorporating the restructuring process. So a firm cannot no like suddenly go and no like implement the process without any further notice or without any a notice no like given to its stakeholders or no to the to their the outside parties like government or no to their employees as well. So these like these persons or these entities should be like informed about the organization's plan for restructuring, and the organization has to make clear so where the restructuring is going to happen. That is no like in which department or in which project or in which particular process, the event. So they are going to plan the restructuring process, and we have seen the reasons for restructuring. The first, the topmost being no like that would be a no like uh, a forecast would be no like seen by the organization's top management. So there would be expectation of no like financial crunch or financial crisis, no. So that may be the reason, or it can be no like they may be no like diversifying their operations, and they may be no like expanding their capacities, and or sometimes they want to know like downsize few operations, downsize their employees, or even they can plan for demerging of their no like I mean they may be the organization may be a large entity. So it is very difficult for the top management to run the large entity, so the operational difficulties they may face. So in that case they want to demerge the organization, so sell out or no like outsource few of its operations or few of its departments to the the outsiders, or sometimes the shareholders of the company. So these are the reasons for restructuring. And then how to measure the results. So we have seen two factors for measuring the results, that is market performance and accounting performance. So market performance is how the stock value of the company has increased in the market. So in terms of the increase in the share value, so how it has reached the market, and how many customers have grown. That is if more customers have joined the group to the existing customers, it means they are performing good by taking the restructuring methods. So in accounting performance, everything is related to the cost factor. So the company would check on the return on investment and return on equity. So if there is if that shows a good result, it means the restructuring process has paid off well, or otherwise they have to identify the defects and go on with the restructuring process once again, which is a tedious effort, but the company can plan accordingly to the limited resources or the time availability or the manpower availability on that particular situation, or on that available during that particular period of time. Okay, so in case of the top management's decision to diversify or to demerge or to what do you say, like outsource few of its operations in terms of process, or in terms of workflow, in terms of manpower, managing the manpower, or in terms of managing the resource, or for any reason, the top management can decide on few techniques, restructuring techniques, so that it can cut down its the overall operations, so they can concentrate on their core business alone. So instead of spending too much time on the overall businesses, so few of those businesses or few of those projects may not be paying well for the company. So the company can identify those projects, identify those processes or workflows, and either they can sell off those processes or outsource those processes, or they can ask any of their department to take care of those processes, and they can concentrate on the core processes which is yielding good result, or which can yield good results. So the first technique it can take is sell off. So what is it? Sell off is a sale of a business or subsidiary of the parent company to another firm outside the group, generally resulting in the payment of cash to the parent. So completely a part of operations is being sold to some other firm which is not inside the group of that company. So take Reliance Industries, it's group of companies working under one single, banner or one single brand. But when Reliance is selling one of its subsidiaries to someone outside their group, it means that's called sell off. So why it is done? Because the cash can be the revenue can be generated instantaneously. So you sell off an asset of your company, you cannot generate a revenue. So this is sell off. So in theory, sell offs are the least complex of restructuring structures. It is it's a least complex. Like the company has to think about too much or work out too much on this. Like taking decision on this. So all they have to do is identify the projects or events, the departments or the manpower who are not performing well, or which is not performing well, which yields not good results to the organization, which incurs more cost, that is which incurs more money, but there is no result, that the output is not good as expected. So the company can easily identify those factors and go on with sell off. And these projects, these events, or these manpower, whatever, or this work process, workflow, whatever, so it is completely sold off to someone outside the parent company. So they can be divided into two groups: strategic buyers and financial buyers. So the buyers who buys the subsidiary of this parent company, or which type of buyers the company can target or sell their subsidiary, any of their subsidiary or group of subsidiaries. It can be either strategic buyers or it can be either financial buyers. So when it comes to strategic buyers, so these buyers are interested in acquiring a business for strategic purpose. There is they already have some business like under a different banner or different brand. So to increase their market share, or to increase the economy of scale, for example, to increase the economy of scale, they can buy the parent companies like production unit, a part of a production unit, or like number of machineries, or number of skilled workers, so they can plan for economies of scale or exploiting the synergies. So these strategic buyers are typically companies engaged in the same business, so more or less like competitors, and therefore competing with the business or company under consideration. So strategic buyers are those who are now planning to expand their business. For expansion, they instead of going for taking initial steps or by themselves, like by setting up a department, or buying a machinery from the sourcing the vendors, and buying the machinery, getting the quotation, accepting the quotation, and then going on with the the payment and everything. And instead of following this conventional method, all they look for is the potential parent company which is ready to sell off their operations, few of their operations, or a few of their what do you say, the capacity, the production unit, or the manpower, whatever, or sometimes the technology as well. They can like instantly pay cash, buy this technology or buy this group of manpower, or like buy that process, and they can like expand their operations. Okay, then who are financial buyers? So these buyers are interested in acquiring a business to secure a financial return in the short to medium time. So these buyers, like financial buyers, say completely they are profit oriented. So they don't want to spend more time in like expanding the business, and then creating a great impact in the market, and then try to catch loyal customers. No, they are not interested in that. They want to make profit as soon as possible, so within like short to medium term. So these people like these buyers, these financial buyers, can buy the sell off company or the sell off operations from the parent company. So these two are the different types of buyers who actually who are keenly looking for any company to come up with a sell off option. So these buyout firms raise funds in order to be able to take equity stakes in companies through funding and assisting with management buyouts and leveraged buyouts. So management buyouts is for strategic buyers, and leveraged buyouts is for financial buyers. So these buyout firms generally focus on established companies. So they usually look for like well-established company, a giant company like TCS, or like like Tata, or like Reliance, or HCL, whatever, like established, well-established companies. So these established companies will already have been already been they will be like filled with like maximum number of employees, or maximum number of projects, and like a maximum number of resources, like heavily like available resources. Abundance of resources is available to this well established companies. Now instead of like keeping on expanding the businesses, and like making things messed up in the future, so these well established companies, they want to like cut down few of the operations, which like they believe that like this is not going to generate so much profit as the other project. So those projects or those events workflows can be identified, and these well established companies gives off, that is sells off to these buyout firms. So non-core divisions and subsidiaries of large companies are their typical targets. And then the second technique for restructuring by the top management is equity carve-outs. So here sell off means like a part of operations, or a part of like machinery, or like part of a group of like workers, or whatever, or like a technology is being completely sold off. Once sell off is done, the parent company doesn't have any rights on the project which has been sold off. So it's completely like sold off for cash, for instant cash to the buyout company. Whereas in equity carve-outs, so here it's like releasing the IPO. That is uh, it's not like public investors, it's subsidiary to public investors. So this IPO is like sale of the equity, that is like the business equity is being like sold off, or like given as like shares to the public. It's given as an initial public offering. So there are two types, a minority carve out and the majority carve out. So minority carve out is something where the parent company sells only the minor shares, like very a small percentage of shares to the the investors, or like to the other parties. Where the majority carve out involves in the sale of a majority interest in a wholly owned subsidiary to investors. So there are two types, that is minority carve out. So for example, if a company is selling 49% of their shares to outsiders and maintaining 51% shares, it means it's a minority carve out. 49% or less than that. But if the company sells 51 shares or more than that to to the outsiders, then it's called a majority carve out. So it should be noted that the preparation for either an IPO or a private placement to professional investors takes longer than that for a sell-off. So here the plan for releasing the IPO, this is an extensive process. So it's not as easy as sell-off. So sell-off is very much easy process. All you the business have to do is, the top management has to do is identify those sorry, identify those processes or departments or the workflows which doesn't yield no good result, or which is a crisis kind of a thing, or which is always meeting what do you say some problem always they are meeting a problem, always it is uh, going on with some problem. So problematic project or problematic workflow, so they can easily identify. But here releasing an IPO, that's an extensive process, though board of directors, shareholders, the CEO, the president, everyone has to give out their own ideas about the IPO plan. So they have to fix about how many IPOs, it is how many units, shares has can be offered to the public or to the other companies, and what should be the unit value of each and every share, and everything how it has to be publicized. So if a company is going for IPO, then it should be a public limited company. So a sole proprietorship company, or one person company, it's otherwise called OPC. The OPC one person company, maybe that person may be billionaire, but it's not possible for that billionaire to go for an IPO. So the company should be a public limited company, then only it's eligible to go with IPO. So it should be noted that the preparation for IPO or a private placement to professional investors take longer than the sell-off. So in addition, a parent company will have to ensure that the carved out subsidiary should be a viable independent company. So when the parent company is planning to give out the shares, that is sell their shares, part of their shares, so they have to make a note that to whom they are selling the shares. So it would be always good the buyers of these shares, if they can be an independent company, that would be good. Or otherwise, the seller, that is the parent company itself, if it is an independent company, that is a public limited company, an independent company, then it's easy for the the overall calling for IPO and everything. All the process would be easy. Or otherwise, other business problems will arise. So this is often the most difficult part of the preparation for an equity carve out. So we are going to see about the benefits of the minority carve out. So what are the benefits by selling out, or selling the minor shares of the company to the outside parties? So here you have to remember, so this is selling the shares, that is giving the IPO to the outsiders, not someone inside the company, not to the shareholders. So completely it is sold off to the outsiders. See, these outsiders can be a buyout firm, a company, or sometimes it can be an individual. So after a minority carve out, the parent company continues to remain in control of the subsidiary. So this is a benefit, because only minor shares have been sold out, the majority shares are still with the parent company. So they can remain in control of all the subsidiaries. It allows the parent company to take advantage of a high valuation of part of its operations and provides opportunities to raise capital. So the business decision making. So in its overall operations, like again, acquiring the opportunities going on with the business deal. So all these major business decisions, it can be taken by the parent company because they hold the major shares. If the minority carve out unlocks value and a higher rated or higher value stock is created, the stock of the parent company has more value as an acquisition currency. So obviously, so the minority carve out, like it has become a higher rated, like unit. It has become a higher rated unit, or like the share value has increased. So obviously the parent company would be benefited. It gives a subsidiary time to become a stronger company before a sale or majority or full carve out. So before going into a full carve out, majority carve out, or a full carve out, or complete sale, like this company, with the help of the like the increase in shares, so it can like become a stronger company. Then after that, after becoming a stronger company, in case if they choose to exit, so actually, like this doesn't happen. Once a company has become a stronger company by releasing an IPO, so that company, like, it still goes on. It still wants to continue the business. But for some other reason, if the top management decides to like exit the business, so they are completely selling off everything and they are starting something new, or they want to sell off everything for some other reason, or they want to go for the majority carve out for any reason, for any of these reason, if they want to work on it, before that this parent company can become like super powerful. Then it may create business opportunities for the subsidiary by demonstrating that the subsidiary will be an independent business. So whoever has got the sale, whoever got the shares, like they can operate independently, because they don't come under this company, because they are not the employees, they are not the departmental heads. Whoever has bought the shares, they are not the shareholders. So they are in no way, they are no like related to the company. The only thing is, but they have bought the shares of the company. So no, like they can be no like independent. So here, like the parent company doesn't have to like make them forced to do something, make them forced to like get into some process or nothing. Like regarding the business operations, the buyout firms or the buyout companies who has purchased this shares, so they don't have like anything to do with it. A minority carve-out IPO allows the subsidiary to offer market-linked or other equity incentives to management. So all IPOs are market-linked. So as a market increases, the share value increases. When the market goes down, the share value goes down. Okay, disadvantages. What could be the disadvantages of a minority carve-out? The parent company maintains control of the subsidiary, obviously, which may cause a potential conflict of interest with the minority shareholders of the subsidiary. So sometimes, if the minority shareholders, they want to like get involved in the decision making, they want to decide something related to the operations within the parent company. So that is not possible. So there that become like there the conflict arises. But since the parent company holds the maximum share, so they are like they have all the rights to like take any decisions related to its operations. But there is minority company, that is minority the companies which has like bought the minority shares, they doesn't have any like a kind of like they don't have like any such kind of like involvement in the business. If the initial public float is too small, it may fail to attract institutional investors. So depending on the share value, if the share value like it's very small, very low, the unit value is very low, like it may fail to attract institutional investors. Only few will be buying the shares, not many of them. Small public floats may increase the volatility of the stock. So obviously, if there are small public floats, so volatility of stock like may happen. Volatility is like not so sure situation. So it keeps on changing. In difficult markets, a minority carve-out may impede a selling strategy by setting a price for the shares of the subsidiary, which is below their real value. So sometimes, like in order to give out the shares, like already the company has decided they have to sell, like say around 30 shares of the company. So they see that they have they have fixed a share value, that is not the unit value of the value of one unit share is like 10 rupees. So when only few of them are buying the shares, and not like as expected, many of them are not buying. So in this case, the share value like can be minimized, or decreased, so that like the company makes sure all the 30 shares are being sold off. A minority carve-out may reduce the flexibility with which the parent and subsidiary can cooperate to capture synergies. So here it's not possible because the main dominance over the business operations is by the parent company, which holds the maximum number of shares. Okay, so there are few tips for the top management while they are deciding, if they have decided to go for the equity carve-outs. The parent company should anticipate that a minority carve-out is often an interim solution. So this is not the final solution. So it can it can be proceeded with majority carve out, or it can go with spin off. There is another technique called a spin off, split up, or split off. So there are many options. So this is not the only solution for restructuring for any top management. So it's just an interim solution. In most cases, a minority carve out is later followed by another transaction such as sell off, follow on public offering, or spin off. So in practice, minority carve-out is likely to lead to complete separation over time, because carved out subsidiary tends to drift away from and interact less with the parent due to its independence. So if I have bought a share of TCS or Wipro, whatever, I don't want any dominance from the company. So I want to operate independently. So I have the whole, now I'm holding the value of the I'm holding the shares of say around 100 shares of TCS, or like 50 shares of Wipro, whatever. So I'm an independent person. So what I want to do with these shares, I can make decision. Either I can keep the shares, or I can, part of the shares I can resell to another buyer. All whole of my shares I can resell, completely I can sell off to another buyer. And that buyer, I can decide whether it can be an individual or it can be another company. So that's completely my own independence. So here the parent company shouldn't be, or they shouldn't be forcing, or trying to lay their hands on those buyers who have bought the minority shares. And in addition, the carved out subsidiary, if it becomes a public listed company, will issue its own financial statements and establish a public market value, resulting in the increased possibility of a merger or takeover of. So, for example, if I am running another company and I have bought the shares of a parent company, so I'm a subsidiary here. So, if I am planning to make my company as a public limited company, in that case, I have to release my own IPO, and I can publish my own financial statements. So I don't have to depend on the parent company to go with the financial statement publishing. So this is also possible. So in that case, the share value what I hold, or the share number of shares what I hold, I can even give to my my company's shareholders or my company's partners. I can share it with my employees. So whatever can happen. So minority carve-out IPO may be combined with the later spin-off. Spin-off is another technique. We will discuss about it. If unsuccessful, a minority carve-out may be followed by a spin-in. The parent, that is the parent company, acquires the shares held by minority shareholders and turns the majority owned subsidiary into a wholly owned subsidiary. For example, I am holding the shares of the parent company, so that's a minority share, and if no like unsuccessful, the minority carve out has become an unsuccessful, and I have not publicized my company. That is, no, I'm still an individual, or I'm either a private company, or I'm a like a partnership firm, whatever. So in that case, no, like the parent company can take back my shares. That is, no, like held my minority shares, no, like, and turns the majority owned subsidiary to a wholly owned subsidiary. So in that case, they can offer me, no, like some more value. Okay, so give back our shares. No, we will be paying, no, like this much. I can give back my shares anytime. Now the parent company becomes the wholly owned subsidiary. So they, all their shares are with us and not with anyone else in the market. When a substantial or complete separation is desired, a majority carve out may be implemented. So if the company, the parent company, doesn't want to get involved in the business operation decision making, or would like to have some other party to know like help them in business decision making, or they want to know like completely forget or no like completely give out no few of the options of their operations, then majority carve out may be implemented. Again, usually by way of IPO or private placement. Again, if it is no like if it is going to be a majority carve out, that is also by IPO only. So sell off is different, IPO is different. Okay, so majority carve out benefits and disadvantages. So benefits are, so it may generate substantial cash for the parent or the subsidiary. And majority carve out may allow the parent to terminate its responsibility towards the subsidiary, because here the majority carve out in this process, major shares have been like sold to the external parties. In that case, parent company cannot take any decision on its own regarding the business operations. A majority carve out means that there will be a fewer potential conflicts of interest between the parent and the subsidiary, because the decision making would be done by the majority owned company or the majority owned team. So as a parent company, they cannot get involved into the business decision making. Notwithstanding that, it will be only a minority shareholder. The parent may maintain a significant influence on the subsidiary after the carve out. It may have some influence. So significant influence may be there for the parent company, but they cannot go on with the business decision making on their own. So either they have to get involved in the decision making along with the majority carve out subsidiaries, or the decision will be taken by the majority carved out subsidiaries. So what are the disadvantages? So obviously the parent company loses its power in all the business operations. So neither the parent nor its shareholders will participate fully in the business. The parent will lose the control over the subsidiary after the majority carve out. So these are the advantages and disadvantages. So equity carve out is like publishing, like, or giving out an IPO. That is like selling the shares of the company. So if minor shares have been sold, it's called minority carve out, and major shares sold, it is majority carve out. So who can like give IPO? That is like go on with the IPO, only the public limited companies, and not any like sole proprietorship company or partnership company. Okay. Then is spin-offs. So spin-off is otherwise called as demerger. So it consists of the distribution of subsidiary stock to the parent company's existing shareholders by way of a dividend. So this is also like like distributing the shares, but not to the external parties, but to the shareholders of the parent company in the name of dividend. So that is the difference between equity carve out and spin off. So difference between sell off and equity carve out is, sell off is where the part of the business operations is completely sold off and like cash is instantly generated. So there is no like after selling off the business operations or whatever, the parent company doesn't have any like rights on the properties or rights on the operations which has been sold off. Whereas equity carve out is only the shares of the company as IPOs has been sold. In case of minority carve out, the parent company still gains dominance over the business operations, decision making. But in case of majority carve out, the parent company will not be having the dominance over the business operations. But spin-off is, again, it's like a carve out, but not to the outsider, releasing, distributing the shares of the company to the insiders of the company, that is the shareholders, in the name of dividend. A spin-off is a popular way of undertaking corporate restructuring, in mainly US and Europe. The main reason for the popularity of spin-offs is that distribution can often be made tax-free for both the parent corporation and the receiving shareholder. So here, it becomes a tax-free because of dividend distribution. This can represent significant savings to the parent company. So spin-offs are means to unlock the value of a subsidiary and transfer that value directly to the parent company's shareholders. It is especially useful for the subsidiary that does not completely fit with the parent company's core activities or would otherwise benefit from being a standalone public company. So to whom it's useful is for those subsidiaries which doesn't completely fit with the parent company. So it can be, this subsidiary can be, again, it can be a part of the operations or part like few machineries or few workflow or few business operations, whatever it can be. So these subsidiaries, are founded, they don't fit completely with the parent company's core activities. That's why the decision is made. So spin-offs are also a means to obtain full value of the parent company's shareholders. So here the shareholders don't go anywhere. They remain in the company. They take part in the business decision making. They take care of the business operations. So they cannot take all the tactical decisions, the strategic decisions, I'm sorry. When a spun-off subsidiary is viable but will not command a reasonable price, cash divestiture because of market conditions. So market conditions may go up or come down. That doesn't create much impact in this technique because the shares are not distributed to the public, sold off to the public, but it's distributed to the company's shareholders, the parent company's shareholders. So the changes in the the market conditions, so that will not affect the the dividend. So where the shares of parent company are publicly listed, in order to ensure that a parent company's shareholders can realize the value of distribution, shares of the subsidiary generally need to be publicly listed. So though the dividends are though the shares are being distributed or distributed in the name of dividend within the shareholders, between the shareholders, and if the company wants to generate more cash, then more shares can be released as an IPO. So every time they don't have to go with the dividends only, but they can release IPOs as well. So once these shareholders got their part or their part of the dividends, so if they want to purchase more shares, they have to buy it as an IPO. They can't wait for more dividends. So that is the case. As is the case with equity carve-outs, the spun-off subsidiary must be a viable standalone entity to create shareholder value. This means that it must have a strong capital structure and a viable business model. This poses a major challenge for all spin-offs. So there must be a viable business model and a strong capital structure to go on with these spin-offs or the equity carve-outs. Because a viable standalone entity, it only that only creates a shareholder value. So the value of each of the shareholders, one, it becomes outstanding, or it becomes very strong only when the company or the subsidiary, it's a standalone entity. When it becomes when it has given a majority carve out, or whether it has given the maximum sell off from the company, So this shareholder value will not be much. So there should be spin-off as well as more shares, has to be introduced as IPO. So both should be simultaneously done. So here the shareholders are happy with the parent company because they have got their shares as dividends. And more than that, if they want to purchase more company shares, they can purchase that as IPOs. So that cash is being generated for the parent company. So in both the ways, it's advantage to the parent company. So spin-offs have disadvantages. Let's see. Unlike an equity carve-out or sale for cash, neither the parent company nor the subsidiary receives any cash in the transaction itself. So in case of only dividend distribution, there is no cash generated. But only when the shareholders buy extra shares by purchasing the IPOs, then cash is generated. The parent company loses the income and cash flow of the subsidiary without receiving any cash in return. So there is no cash generated here. Unlike carve-out IPO, shares are distributed to parent shareholders as dividend, and therefore parent company may not work hard to create investor interest in the stock as much as in carve-out IPO. So they don't have to work too much on to create an investor interest in the stock because it's already shared with the shareholders. So you cannot keep on searching for more investor for your company. So everything is not done by the shareholders. Shares are bought by the shareholders. So dividends are distributed within the shareholders. So obviously they can be investors as well. Since they are getting dividends, they can be they will be investing more in the company. So their share value, that is for example, if a shareholders has invested 20% in the business, and spin-off as a spin-off, this shareholder has got 6% of the share value of the company as dividend. So obviously this shareholder will be very happy. So this person is getting something out of the company, right? Other than profit sharing. So other than the profit sharing, dividend is also this person is getting. So obviously this person will be tend to invest more in the company. So that's a good point for the company. But it has to only these persons, these shareholders alone can invest in the company, but you cannot go for any external investors. So external investors or potential buyers from outside the parent company will not be interested in investing in the parent company. So that is the disadvantage. If the spun-off subsidiary fails to meet their investment criteria, that is minimum size of market capitalization, institutional investors of the parent company may sell the shares distributed to them in the spin-off. So this point we have already seen. So these are the disadvantages. Okay, again, few tips. So two-stage transactions, the advantages, it has two-stage transactions. The first one is IPO establish a public market for subsidiary stock in the advance of the spin-off. And the scrutiny which comes with being a publicly listed company should make the subsidiary a stronger company. So only when it becomes a publicly listed company, so that subsidiary becomes a stronger company. And this IPO generates cash, either the parent company or the subsidiary or both. So it depends upon the share value of the, the unit value of the share. Whatever. The disadvantages of these two-stage transactions are similar to those of minority comps. That is, the IPO is dependent on equity market conditions. So as the market increases, market value increases, share value increases. The market value decreases, share value decreases. Preparing for and implementing IPO is time consuming. It's not as easy as going on with the sell-off technique. Companies with small public floats are less attractive to institutional investors. So if a company is going on with releasing 40 or 45 shares, all 45 shares should be sold off, should be bought by the external investors. If that is not happening, then no, like it means no, like the share value is like very high according to the market, or they don't believe in the organization, or the organization reputation like it's not so good like in the industry. So whatever can be the reason, in that case they have to go down with the minimizing the share value. A depressed stock price may prevent the parent from undertaking the subsequent spin-off. So if the stock price has decreased, obviously like the parent company wouldn't go on with a spin-off option. Okay, so now we are coming to spin-ins, spin-off, spin-ins. So companies are making majority owned subsidiaries into wholly owned subsidiaries. How? Like buying the shares again from the majority, the minority shareholders. It is not like I have released IPO, and the few investors, that is no like few individuals or a company has bought my IPO, and no like I want my IPO back because I want to become a wholly owned subsidiary or a majority owned subsidiary. So I'm offering a good price for the same share which I have sold to them. I might have initially sold for 10 rupees per unit, but now I am ready to give 15 rupees for each unit, but I want to buy back my shares. So I can negotiate with them, buy back my shares, and I can become a wholly owned subsidiary. So such transactions are referred to as spin-ins. Often spin-ins are implemented through the share exchange procedure. So this allows a parent company to implement group-wide restructuring by streamlining overlapping businesses and redeploying assets and capabilities within the group. So spin-ins will often lead to divestitures. So obviously, like when the company becomes a majority shareholder, or the wholly owned parent company, or the wholly owned subsidiary, so this will lead to divestitures. Okay, and then finally we are coming to split off and split up. So split off is a variant of spin off. So in split off, parent company distributes shares it owns in a subsidiary to its shareholders in exchange for their shares of the parent. So it's just like like spin off. In spin off, when there is when you're going on with the part going on with this IPO option, or like the spin off option. So here I mean, here you can see the different. What the difference you can see is you're going to get back the shares, which you have given off to your subsidiary. That is, a parent company may be having a different like many subsidiaries. So you're not, that is within the group, within the same brand. The subsidiaries are working. Then now you want to make that subsidiary integrate into the parent company again. So you're taking again the uh, you know like um uh, you're taking again your share of the subsidiary. So now the subsidiary has become a part of the parent company. So under the same banner, under the same brand, the parent company has different subsidiaries, and part of its shares are divided into the subsidiaries or sold off to the subsidiaries. And if one subsidiary, if the parent company decides that any one subsidiary has to be dissolved or merged into the parent company, so that can be done in split off. So it's a way of creating value for the parent shareholders by reducing the parents' outstanding shares. So reducing the parent shares outstanding, what happens? It increases the earnings and cash flow per share, and thereby the value of the remaining shares. So what is split up? It's a form of split off where a parent company is broken up into two or more independent companies. So subsidiaries are different, independent companies are different. Subsidiaries, they can still operate under the banner of the parent company. But when the parent company splits up into two or three independent companies, so that is a different scenario. For example, you can see that well-established companies, they may split up the main or the major company, the company what they own. and they may like split up the company and completely like they can give the whole of the part of the operations. It can be given to either their offspring or like some entrepreneurs whomever they find fit for the operations. In the split up, a parent company is often liquidated and the parent company's shareholders become shareholders of each of the new independent companies. So the whole parent company split up into like 2 or 3 different independent companies. So what happens to the shareholders of the parent company? They can take up new roles in this split up company. So this is split off and split up. Okay, so we have come to the end of the session. We have like 3 or 4 more techniques. I thought of like finishing it off by today itself, but like we don't have much time. So what we will do is we can like see those like remaining techniques, 3 or 4 techniques in our next session, which will be the last session of corporate restructuring. So if you have any doubts, you can stay back, others can leave.
Thank you.